Okay guys, Sam and I got our mock draft done. Let's talk about it. What's going on everyone? Diggs Report here, back to another video, and the NFL draft is just a few days away, and now it's time to reveal the mock draft Sam and I worked so hard on. We had fun doing it, like we always do, and we came to an agreement. We're probably going to be right on some positions, but with the wrong player. And that's just how the draft works. You never know until draft night happens. But let's talk about what we think is going to happen in the first round. So guys, I wonder how the first pick is going to... Okay, I can't even joke around with this. Caleb Williams is going number 1 overall. We all know it. The Bears, they are getting a guy that is the best quarterback in this draft. That is a generational talent, and for a lot of people is the best player in this draft. I think he's second best, but for a lot of others, he is the best player. How he develops in the next 3 years is going to be a big storyline. And if the Bears can develop him right, watch out, NFC. Okay, the second overall pick, this is a tough one because you're not too sure what the Commanders are thinking. At first it was Drake May, and that's what Sam and I had originally. We had Drake May going there. Second best quarterback in this draft, high upside. Really, the only player that has higher upside than him at the quarterback prospects is Caleb Williams. But then the tone changed to Jayden Daniels, and that's really where we have right now. Jayden Daniels, second overall. Now, could it change again? It could, but as of right now, we're going Jayden Daniels, second overall, which means Drake May is going to the Patriots. By the way, this is a no-trade mock draft. We do not do trades. We cannot predict trades. It's not going to happen, guys. We're never going to do trades. So, Drake May to the New England Patriots. They get their quarterback of the future, and as I mentioned, high upside, and this is a guy, development is going to be critical for him. If the Patriots can develop him right, they're going to get a very good quarterback. If they can't, well, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so the Cardinals. Do they trade? Do they stay put and take Marvin Harrison Jr.? I really hope they take Marvin Harrison Jr. because that receiving core needs a number 1 option. And I get it, they have another first-round pick. But you get your number 1 guy early in the draft. CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson do not happen every year. You cannot bank on that. I don't care how deep a draft class is. When you have a needed wide receiver, you get it as soon as you can. Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals. I will die on this hill. Alright, let's talk about the Chargers right now. I've mentioned this. Offensive tackle, wide receiver, their top 2 needs. Is it going to be Malik Neighbors or is it going to be Joe Alt? Yes, we talk about Jim Harbaugh, but I'm going to go more towards the need. And right now, they have a left tackle and Rashawn Slater. What they don't have is a number 1 receiver. You have Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnston as your top 2 options. You need to get somebody else in that receiver room. I'm going Malik Neighbors. I could be completely wrong, and Jim Harbaugh just takes Joe Alt because he just loves to run the football. He's a smash mouth guy. But as of right now, I'm going with Malik Neighbors. Giants, we've heard about the quarterback talk with them. I'm not buying it. I say they go wide receiver. I say they go Rome Odunze, the top 3 guys. They need a number 1 option as well. And Rome Odunze, the last of the really good wide receiver prospects. So I'm going to go with him to the Giants. Could they go quarterback? Absolutely. But I think you try to squeeze whatever you can out of Daniel Jones. More than likely, they're probably going to be having a top 10 pick in 2025. That's probably where they're going to get their next franchise guy. It's my thought on the subject. Again, I could be totally wrong. I'm just going to go with Rome Odunze. Okay, let's face it. Will Levis was not given a fair shot last year. I mean, the Titans, it was a disaster on the offense. The offensive line was not great. Besides DeAndre Hopkins, the receivers were not that great either. Now, while the top 3 receivers are gone, Joe Alt is there. Get him, put him on the left, and now you've got a very good left tackle protecting the guy that you want to be your franchise. That is the way to start. For the Titans, it just fell right into their lap, and they'll gladly take it. Falcons, I could definitely see a trade, especially if Minnesota still wants to trade up and get J.J. McCarthy. And really for Minnesota, that's probably the best trade partner they could have because it's just a few spots up. They probably don't have to trade both their first-round picks to trade up with Atlanta. But because this is a no-trade mock draft, They get the first defensive player off the board, and it's going to be Dallas Turner. They need help on the defensive side of the ball, particularly in rushing the passer. Get Dallas Turner, best edge rusher in the draft, maybe a little undersized, but you know what? I would take him in a heartbeat. Talise Faja to the Bears. They drafted Darnell Wright last year. Now you get another tackle with this kid from Oregon State. You have your bookends for Caleb Williams. You protect him with the receivers that they have, and Caleb Williams is set up for success as a rookie. For the Jets, offensive line is definitely one way they could go, but I'm going to go Brock Bowers, a tight end from Georgia. I mean, what's a quarterback's best friend? A tight end. You put him with Aaron Rodgers, with Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and that is a very, very good offense. Now, they did rebuild the offensive line. They put veterans in there, so maybe they can wait till the second round to get some more help on the offensive line. But getting Brock Bowers with this offense, it could take it to another level than where they would be right now. Vikings, do they stay put? Do they trade up? I don't know. J.J. McCarthy. That's the pick right here. You're going J.J. McCarthy. And look, I could see them trade up with Atlanta. I could see them trade up with the Chargers. I could see them trade up with the Cardinals. I could see them trade up with the Patriots if the Patriots don't like the quarterbacks that are still available on the board. But out of this draft, they get a quarterback, and more than likely, it's going to be J.J. McCarthy, who is going to be set up for success as a rookie. Okay, Denver, I completely 100% get it. Yes, they need a quarterback. And yes, they could trade up, but I just don't think that's a good idea. The last few off seasons, they traded for Russell Wilson. They traded for Sean Payton. They traded away a lot of assets to get those two. And then they did some cuts along the roster, and they still might not be done. Cortland Sutton, he's not showing up for workouts. What's going to happen with him? Is he going to be on the field for the Broncos come week 1? Garrett Bowles, is he going to be a Bronco long term? We have no idea. So right now, I think they need to hold off on the rookie quarterback and just get the best player in this draft. That's Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo, the corner. Just get the best player in this draft, get some talent on that team, and figure out what you do for the 2024 season and beyond. Raiders, it's another team that could definitely go quarterback, but it looks like they're going to go with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell on the roster, so get a protector for them. Get J.C. Latham from Alabama, the next best tackle available, plug and play day one, and just let him protect whoever is going to play quarterback for them. Back-to-back tackles, Troy Fautanu from Washington. Look, Trevor Penning has not worked out so far for the Saints. Hasn't worked out. Got to get somebody else on the offensive line. Again, next best tackle available. Get him. You can put him in day one, and the Saints will be fine. Indianapolis could use some help in the secondary. Teron Arnold, the corner from Alabama, probably the next best player available, and it does fill a need for them. So that's what we're going to go with for the Colts. Seattle does need help on the defense. They could use help in rushing the passer, so we're going to go Jared Verse, the edge from Florida State. Next best guy on the board. Had a great season for Florida State. Was the reason why they went undefeated during the regular season. And if Jordan Travis doesn't get hurt, they are in the college football playoff. Okay, the Jaguars signed Gabe Davis, but he didn't really have the breakout season that you wanted to see from a guy in Buffalo that had the big games that he did. And Christian Kirk's coming back from an injury. Not to mention Zay Jones took a step back. So let's give him a wide receiver, Brian Thomas from LSU. It's kind of a shock. He's down at 17. I've seen mock drafts where he's gone higher than that. So this is a nice value pick for the Jaguars. Again, you can probably start him day one and he'll be an impact player for them. Oliver Fashanu to the Bengals. This is great value right here. I've seen him go in the top 10. The fact that he's at number 18, the Bengals will gladly run up to the podium to take him, especially since we know Trent Brown's not the long-term answer at right tackle. So you take him, you have him learn behind both Trent Brown and Orlando Brown, you put him in at right tackle in year 2. This guy's got major upside, and the fact that the Bengals get him at 18, it's very good value. So the Rams lost Aaron Donald. What do? Why not get another undersized guy in Byron Murphy from Texas? Yes, it's big shoes to fill. However, you're not asking him to be Aaron Donald. You need to ask him to be Byron Murphy. And if he can have a nice 10-year career, couple of Pro Bowls, that's a very successful pick. And that is a great successor to Aaron Donald, if you ask me. Steelers need a center right now. It is Spencer Anderson, a 7th round pick last year. Get Jackson Powers Johnson, the best center in this draft from the University of Oregon. Plug and play day one, and you let him protect Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Let him open up holes for Najee Harris. This, right now, the Steelers, you need a center. Best one in the draft. Good value here. We go from one interior offensive lineman to another. The Dolphins, they lost Robert Hunt in free agency, replaced him with Graham Burton from Duke. I've seen him go higher in mock drafts. To me, he is a top 20 pick. Dolphins, run up to the podium to get him. Plug and play day one. You know, the Eagles could have a lot of fun with this pick. Cooper DeJean from Iowa. Yeah, I am going Cooper DeJean. Now, Sam and I are both in agreement. He's more than likely going to be a safety at the NFL level. There's the conversation going on. Is he a corner? Is he a safety? We're going with safety, but the Eagles, they could have a lot of fun with him, and they need help on the defense, so get as much talent as you can, and with versatility like DeJean has, that is always a plus in the NFL. The A2, Latu to the Vikings. They lost Danielle Hunter in free agency. They got Jonathan Griot, but they could use some more help there, especially since you have a new quarterback coming in Caleb Williams with Jordan Love that just had a very good season. Not to mention Jared Goff, who was a former number 1 overall pick. They need help rushing the passer. Next best guy, get him. The Cowboys lost Tyron Smith in free agency, so let's get them Armarius Mims from Georgia. Is he a plug-and-play day one? Probably not, but long-term, this guy could be a very good player for the Cowboys. And sometimes you just got to go with your gut. And right now, I'm going to go with Mims for the Cowboys. Okay, so the Packers are going, how the heck is Johnny Newton at 25 right now? Really, Johnny Newton to me is a top 20 prospect, and the Packers, looking at him at 25, I think it's too much to resist. Sometimes you just got to go with your board. Defensive tackle's not necessarily a need for them. They have Devontae Wyatt, they have Kenny Clark, but you know what? Stick with your board, you take him, and you have some fun with him. Okay, Bucs, another team that does need some edge guys. Let's go Chop Robinson from Penn State. This guy has huge upside, and if the Buccaneers can develop him, he's going to be a force in the NFC South, and quarterbacks are not going to want to stare him in the face. So the second of 2 Arizona picks, they just got their wide receiver. Let's give him Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins, yes, he's a very skinny guy, but he's a very good football player, very talented corner, coming out of Clemson. The Cardinals need help at the cornerback position. You have Nate Wiggins. Again, I know he's skinny, but you know what? He's a very talented player, and sometimes just got to go with the talent, especially at the 27th overall. So the Bills just traded Stephon Diggs. They do need another wide receiver, so let's give them Adrian Mitchell from Texas. Very talented player. Yes, we've heard some rumblings the last few days, but I'm not buying that. This kid is just way too talented, and I don't think the Bills can pass him up. Okay, you know what? I wanted to have some fun with the Lions pick, so I give him Darius Robinson from Missouri. I just feel like they could have a lot of fun with this kid. Have him with Aiden Hutchinson, and Robinson, he could play inside, he could play outside. You can do a lot of things with him. Again, with Aiden Hutchinson, you can have a lot of fun with this kid. I think the Lions, they're going to find ways to get him on the field. Baltimore could definitely see offensive line here, but I think all the first-round offensive linemen are gone. And Baltimore, they always stick by their board, and to me, the best player left is Kool-Aid McKinstry. Okay, I get it. The speed is a little bit of an issue, but you know what? He was a 5-star recruit coming out of college. I saw him play on the field. This is a guy that is going to be a very good corner in the NFL, and with Baltimore, they know how to develop their corners, so I would take Kool-Aid, have him learn behind another Alabama corner in Marlon Humphrey. I think he could be a very good player for the Ravens. 49ers and the Ravens are definitely teams that I could see be willing to trade out of the first round for anybody that wants to go up, say get a quarterback, or maybe go ahead of the Chiefs to get a wide receiver. But for the 49ers, we still have no idea what's going on with Brandon Ayuk. He may be traded on draft night, he may not be. You got to be prepared for that. So I'm going to give them Xavier Worthy from Texas. He broke the combine record, and he's a very good football player. You watched him at Texas, he's very good at football. So you know what? You have him to replace Brandon Ayuk. If Brandon Ayuk is gone, And Kyle Shanahan, he could have a lot of fun with Worthy. You know, remember something Daniel Jeremiah said about this player. Do not let him fall to the Chiefs. And guess what? This player fell to the Chiefs. It's Lad McConkey from Georgia. You get him, you pair him with Mahomes and Travis Kelce, that just makes the Chiefs' offense even better, and their offense is already very good. And guys, one more thing, I got a bonus. How about Carolina's pick in the second round? Troy Franklin from Oregon. Look, they got offensive line help for Bryce Young. Now, you bring in some wide receivers for him. They have Deontay Johnson, you still have Adam Thielen. Bring in Troy Franklin to this room, and this receiving corps becomes better. Okay guys, so here's how the draft looks, and I don't think there's anything too crazy here. I mean, 4 quarterbacks, we've seen it be from 4 to 6, so I think we're right on the nose there. No running backs, no inside linebackers, 5 edge guys. We have Brock Bowers, that's the only tight end, 7 wide receivers, 8 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, 4 corners, 1 safety because we have Cooper DeJean as a safety, not a corner. So again, I don't think there's anything crazy here. And again, Sam and I talked about this. We probably got the positions right for some of these teams, but the wrong player. And again, that's just how the draft is. And we all know there's going to be a surprise trade or pick or whatever you want to say, but there are going to be surprises in the draft. And again, that's just what makes the draft fun. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.